Hi everybody, my name's Sierra Webster, and today we're going to have some fun with an adapted bowling activity. First we're going to start with a yoga warm-up, but I want to give you a little review about the history and some modifications you can make if you are in a wheelchair. As I previously mentioned before we get started, I want to mention the benefits of yoga. Not only is it great for your mental health, but it has multiple physical benefits as well, such as improving your strength, your flexibility, your endurance, increasing your cardiorespiratory fitness, improving your breathing, and also helping improve your strength and muscle tone. All right, guys, great job on listening to some of the benefits of yoga. Now for this part of the video, I want to show the yoga movements that an individual in a wheelchair or who has limited lower body mobility can do. First is the twist pose. For this pose, you will keep your hips straight while moving your upper torso to the left or right. Try to look over your shoulder and hold each position for about 10 seconds on each side. Feel free to repeat as needed. Second is the eagle pose. This one can be a little tricky, but with some practice, anyone can accomplish it. Sit up straight and place your left arm under your right arm while trying to grasp your hands together. Repeat for the other arm. The third pose is my favorite and feels great on the neck. This is called the cow pose. Look as high up to the sky as possible while keeping an arch in your back. And don't forget to breathe. It helps to breathe in and out of your nose during a yoga practice. And now, for the fourth pose, I want to introduce the side stretch. This one should feel awesome. Place your left or right arm over your head and bend to the left or right side. Hold each side for about 10 seconds and repeat for as many times as you want. You should really feel the stretch in your lower back. And the final wheelchair pose focuses on stretching out the hips, hence why it is called the hip stretch. If one is able to, grab their right or left foot and place their ankle on top of the opposite knee. Please repeat this on both sides. All right, guys, great job if you did these. Let's move on. Hey guys, my name's Sierra Webster. We're going to be doing an APE lesson today. We're going to focus on a modified game of bowling with a warm-up of yoga. We're going to create some modifications, have some fun, so let's get started. Okay, we are now going to begin yoga pose 1. First, make sure that you can find a comfortable space to complete these activities. Once you have found a good space, we will come into our first yoga warm-up pose. This pose is also known as Suka Asana. Notice in the video how she comes down to the ground, crosses her legs, and keeps her back straight. If you want to make this pose a little more challenging, you may place your hands facing upright on your knees and close your eyes. We will hold this pose together for about 10 seconds while taking deep breaths in and out of our nose. Please feel free to pause the video and hold for longer whenever you want. You may also look at the task card for another visual of the pose. We are going to begin the pose now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, don't forget to breathe, 8, 9, 10. Awesome work, guys. Let's move on to pose number 2. Now it is time for yoga pose number 2. Before we start this pose, I want to mention a quick and interesting yoga fact. Did you know that 36 million people in the world practice yoga? And now you get to be one of them. Let's now begin pose 2. This pose is known as the seated forward bend. You are going to stay on the ground and come out of pose 1 by placing your legs straight out in front of you. Bring your hands out and try to touch your toes while keeping your legs as straight as you can. If that is too challenging, it is completely okay to have a slight bend in your knees. Hold this on your own for 10 seconds. Awesome work, guys. Let's move on. This pose is known as the sage twist or the Asana. You are going to start by bringing your right leg to your chest and giving it a hug. Keep your back straight and begin to twist to the left side. You should be able to feel this throughout your back. Let's challenge ourselves and hold for 15 seconds. I will let you know when it is time to switch to the other side. Okay, now switch legs and hold. Don't forget to take deep breaths. Awesome work. Time for the next pose. This pose is known as the upward facing dog. Watch the video to see how she comes out of pose 3 and into this new pose. Keep your arms straight and chin facing out away from your chest. If you want to challenge yourself, you can push on your toes to bring your legs and knees slightly off the ground. We will hold here for 15 seconds. You should feel this stretch throughout your lower back. Good work. This is the cow pose. Arch your back and reach your head up to the sky. Pretend you are looking at the clouds. Try to keep your shoulders directly above your hands. And, as always, don't forget to breathe. You may come in and out of this position if you would like, as we hold it for about 10 seconds. You may begin. This next move is the opposite of the cow pose and is known as the cat pose. Arch your back towards the sky while keeping your head down looking towards the ground. Try to bring your chin into your chest if it is comfortable. Keep your shoulders above your hands and breathe. You may come in and out of this position if you would like, as we will hold it again for 10 seconds. Okay, before we start this next move, which also happens to be the most popular in yoga, I want to provide you with another fact. Yoga is over 5,000 years old, and there is over 100 different types of yoga. Hopefully, you can take this information and use it to get motivated for the rest of our poses. We are going to be moving on to downward facing dog. This pose is a great one to always come back to if you are struggling or need to catch your breath. Try to keep your shoulders pulled back towards your ears and your tailbone lifted to the sky. Drop your head down and really try to find how this pose best works for you. Sometimes it is helpful to wiggle the ankles up and down or to keep a slight bend in the knees. However, if you want to challenge yourself, try keeping your heels on the ground while maintaining this pose. Try to hold for about 20 seconds. work, everybody. This pose is known as the child's pose, and it stretches out your back and shoulders. You are going to slowly bring your knees down from the previous pose. Once your knees are down on the ground, bring your forehead to the ground as well, and reach your arms out in front of you. Begin to walk your fingers forward until you feel a comfortable stretch. Let's hold this for about 20 seconds. This next pose is the tree pose. Slowly come out of child's pose and come to a standing position. You will slowly bring your dominant leg up to your thigh, calf, or ankle. Choose a spot that is most comfortable to you and where you can balance. You also have the choice to bring your hands together and put them at the center of your chest, or you can place your arms out to the side, which may help with balance, or finally, you can raise them above your head. We are going to try to hold this for 15 seconds. It is okay if you fall out of the pose, just try to join back again. And if you feel you really need a challenge, try to close your eyes. Let's begin. Awesome work. Let's move into our final pose. This is the final pose and is known as Savasana. You will come to the ground and lay flat with your arms out to the side and palms facing upwards. Let your legs relax. Please try to close your eyes and focus on your breathing. Notice how your chest and stomach rise and fall during each breath. Feel your chest expand as you breathe in and drop as you breathe out. This should be the most relaxed position and will get you ready for the next activity. Let's hold this position together for another 15 seconds, but feel free to pause the video and stay here for as long as you would like. Hopefully, you are ready for the next activity. Let's get to bowling. Hey guys, great job on the yoga warm-up. We're going to move into our bowling activity. For the first one, we're going to be sitting down, and I chose a pretty medium-sized ball. It's nice and light. Let's get started. Okay, for this first roll, you'll notice that I have chosen to do seated bowling. I used 10 empty plastic water bottles as well as a small and lightweight soccer ball. Notice that when I roll, I am keeping both hands on the ball, keeping my eyes on the target, and pushing the ball off of my fingertips once it hits the ground. I am also trying to keep my back fairly straight while extending my arms out in front of me. If you want a challenge, you may scoot back a little further every time you knock down all of the water bottles. On this roll, I have decided to switch up my leg position but use the same ball. This could help me with getting the ball directly lined up in front of me. Similar to before, I am extending my arms out in front of me, grabbing the ball with both hands, making sure it has the correct aim, and then pushing it forward off my fingertips. Try this on your own. Hey guys, great job on that first activity. This time we're going to try to up the difficulty level by using a smaller and heavier ball. Hey guys! This version is similar to before. However, I am still using a heavier ball while keeping my legs spread apart and extending my arms forward. Now we're going to increase the difficulty and move to bowling while standing. Now notice how for standing bowling, I start with my feet together. As I get ready to bowl, I move my dominant foot backwards. At the same time, I will take the ball into my dominant hand and bring that backwards with my foot. My arm should be almost completely extended backwards. I then begin to bend forward and down while moving my arm forward. I release the ball right when it touches the ground and give it a push forward with my fingertips. As always, keep your eyes on the targets. Watch my video, and if you want to challenge yourself, feel free to scoot back a few steps and try again from that position. In my video, I will show you an example of what it looks like from far away. If you want to challenge yourself, feel free to scoot back a few steps and try again from that position. In front of you are the last two video examples, and they are for if you want to further challenge yourself. The first video on the left shows me using a heavier ball from a close distance, compared to the second video, which shows me using a heavier ball from a further distance. Don't forget to use your proper bowling technique and make sure to have some fun. Alright guys, that's the end of our bowling lesson. I hope you had fun. Don't forget to stay active, happy, and healthy. Bye! Sorry.
Thank you. Yeah, me. Thank you.